Marvel rivals, newly released Black Cat is by far the most difficult character they added in the recent roster, having over 10 abilities and a complex ultimate, basically making sure you never touch grass before mastering this bimbo. But what if there is an easy way to play this character, a way only the lazy people figured out, and playing it at the highest level? Well, today I'm gonna teach you just that in 3 simple steps. No boring firing range, I'll show you real battle scenarios where you'll learn how to use each of her abilities, and most importantly, throwing away the useless ones to simplify the kit. This part teaches you all the dirty little secrets, which your favorite talking head idiots never even bothered to mention. Next, I'll show you extremely powerful playstyles, covering her combos, movement, and farming those sweet fortunes without breaking a sweat. You're essentially getting the entire blueprint, allowing you to instantly pick and play this character. And finally, I'll teach you how to deal with those pesky counters, and more importantly, tips to fight against them. Remember, you're skipping all the hardest part just by watching this video. Trust the process. Let's begin. The most important aspect of her kit is the fortune management. Without it, you're just a harmless little girl scratching people's faces. But we'll get to that after I speedrun the optimal way to use Black Cat's kit, so buckle up. Her scratches are only used for farming fortune. Other than that, don't ever expect to kill anyone with it. Realistically, when you snuck up on someone or when your team surrounded someone, that's your best bet to farm some free fortune. What you do with your fortune is mostly spend it on claw whips, your primary and the highest source of constant damage. You also possess the most broken ability in the game, the Pursuit, making you damage, displacement, and CC immune, ensuring a massive burst with practically no risk involved. Mobility-wise, you got 2 dashes, making you very difficult to keep track of and giving you enough credit for rolling those combos. Highly suggest that you keep 1 dash to engage and 1 dash to disengage. And at any time you feel like going broke, just snatch some fortune and rinse and repeat. Trust me when I say this, it's all you'll be doing throughout the entirety of the game. The problem is when you open the guild, it slaps you with 6 more abilities that are mostly useless, but are just sitting there just to mess up with your head. Here's what I mean. The first one is the Gotcha ability. No need to test your luck in the middle of a fight, just throw it out of the window. The invisibility is probably the most frequently used ability. This one's gonna be your best friend, works exactly like Psylocke. The wall hack is another frequently used ability. Everybody in 2026 likes legal wall hacks, cause why not? The CC bubble, mini portal, and the mobility blocker are super situational abilities that you'll be using to counter a specific scenario or a certain enemy. So as a complete beginner, forget these exist and get the hang of these 2 for building a strong and a steady foundation to your learning curve. Honestly, that's all the knowledge regarding her kit and abilities. But the next part, this is what's gonna separate boys from men. Fortune management. Okay, I'm gonna make it as simple as possible, so even if someone watching this video possessing only 2 functional brain cells can still find it easy to understand. You got a wallet, hiding somewhere in those massive cakes. Hitting someone with any ability gives you money, but the issue is you also need to spend a massive portion of that money to deal massive amount of damage. Here's how you get paid. Legally. Every time you scratch someone with your primary, you get 50. Hitting the full combo gives you 200. You will be spending most of that money on the claw whips, but there is a sweet refund system that nobody understands. Hitting claw whips gives you 50 cash back, and this stacks with the number of enemies you hit. So the Phantom Pursuit, which is the highest cost ability, becomes half in price, all thanks to this generous refund policy. Most people rarely ever use this, thinking they'll go broke. But you can now politely shout on them with a secret. The last ability is the dash, giving you the exact same amount of money, but for free. And like Claw Whip, the money also stacks by hitting multiple enemies. But this begs the question, why would you ever want to work so hard and risk so much just to earn money? She's a woman, and you know what women do to get rich? They steal money. Forget and bypass every hard work that needs to be done and dive in the backline straight away with stolen money. Except with the ultimate, that's all there is to know regarding her fortune management. But how do you make the most out of your money? Short answer, by committing daylight robbery. You see, you don't have to believe me, but 300 is the bare minimum, which makes it more than enough to execute 340 to 375 damage worth of lazy ass combos that takes absolutely no skills to execute. On top, the most broken aspect is, if you land the whole 375 damage combo, then with the refund policy, you're actually spending only 150. 150 cash spent and you've pressed literally all the buttons on your keyboard like a toddler. Lord have mercy. Don't get me wrong, the one-shot combos are pretty flashy too. Pause or slow down the video and you're smart enough to figure out how they're executed. But remember, combos mean nothing if you don't know how to bring value with her ultimate. For the record, the ult does not work like Bucky. No line of sight needed. Upon activation, every enemy in the game is revealed to you. In a blink, you can cover 60-meter distance and strike a deadly pounce. Enemies highlighted in red will be immediately executed. Otherwise, they just take flat damage. Any killer assist resets the ult duration. Pretty easy, right? Wrong. They tried shoving rocket science from behind of this character and made the ultimate as complicated as possible. But I figured it out. Just for you. You see, your pounce has two stages. First one deals 30 damage and the second part deals 30 plus the target's 20% health. In simplest terms, whoever you hit, you're gonna deal 60 plus 20% of their total health. This means the damage output will look different for every character based on their health pool. Now the red marker only implies that your damage is gonna be higher than their remaining health, so you're free to execute them. And once again, the pounce from your ultimate gives you straight 300 cash, further proving that you indeed don't have to believe me, but the game is showing you proof right there. 300 is the bare minimum threshold you need on your wallet to go nuts. And welcome to the Lord Black Cat subreddit. You basically are equal to the guy who became Lord on day 1 with this character, and you did it by simply watching this video. But did you notice? Her cakes are massive, and so is my heart. So I'm gonna give you some rapid obscure tips, so you can become a top 100 someday. Spamming jump makes you nearly 30% faster than just casually walking, so keep jumping around to make yourself a difficult target, and after every dash or latching onto any walls, resets the jump. You can always stop the momentum of your dash with the yoink. That's why most pros use the snatch later, so they can control the exact amount of distance they need to cover without going too far off from the hit range. Never dive without an item. Always plan out your scenarios and carry one, because in the heat of battle, every millisecond advantage counts. So forget what the shop looks like and keybind all the items for much quicker access. The Whip Claw, despite having a massive range, has a damage fall off. Think of it as a cone-shaped hitbox. Anything within this 30-degree window will take the full damage. The pounce from your ult can hit multiple targets if they're stacked together. They're gonna most definitely remove this feature. Every time you respawn, you keep the money that you had before dying. Sugar Daddy Guang Guang made a vow on himself to keep your bank account safe no matter how many times you died like a moron. Now, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time and go through Black Cat's hard counters one by one. Rather, I'll share a tier list, and you're smart enough to figure out who are your hardest counters, and most importantly, who you counter. It's not the first time. They released a similar character with a little less but complicated kit that people are still struggling to figure out even today. Guess what? The blueprint is just one click away.